Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are back and I am joined by my good friend Danilo.
Yes. How are you
And
doing?
Danilo, of course, we were the two Dutchies that went to the remote invitational together. And you switched up your deck quite a bit, which is pretty interesting. You used to play Virtual World and now you're playing
Yes, correct.
Drytron.
Yeah.
Why make the change?
Yeah, I've had the engine for a long time, but I didn't perform well with the deck, so I just do Virtual World. And now after a little break, I thought what would be a good deck for me to try, and I really like combo decks, so I thought Drytron would be the next best bet.
All right.
So I tested it, and it worked out pretty well.
All right, cool. I'm interested to see what you made of the deck. So anything you want to say before we go into the deck profile?
No, let's get into it.
All right, let's go.
All right, let's start with the main deck. For the main deck, I played triple alpha,
Mm-hmm.
of course, triple zeta, and then 2 gamma and 1 delta.
All right, tiny Drytron package.
Yeah, the reason for 2 delta and 1 gamma is the fact that I just didn't want to draw them. Like, if you have like a hand like Diviner or Ben 10 with gamma or delta, it's just not very good. So I prefer to have the other Drytron stuff like Fafnir instead.
All right.
And this kind of small engine really worked out for me. I think this was great.
All right, cool.
Then next, wait, switch it up a little bit. Triple Orange Lights,
Mm-hmm.
Triple Diviner, and double EVA.
Standard ratio.
Yeah, pretty standard. Nothing to comment on here. And then the one Ben 10, one Ida 10, one Ultimateness, and then my favorite card, Draconits. I really like this card.
It's cool, right? I love it too.
Yeah. It comes up so much too. Like, for example, Diviner sending Herald and then Herald adding this makes this Ritual Fodder for your Meteonis. Or you can send it off Mubeda and then Ritual Summon it immediately for 4,000 damage. Like, it comes up
Yeah,
a
it's
lot.
so strong, so much damage, and the interrupt
Yeah.
is also pretty solid.
Yeah, it's good on seconds, good on first. It's good when you get hand trapped a lot and you don't have band 10 access, you can just have this as an interruption. It was really nice.
Nice. Okay.
Alright, next up for hand traps I played triple Ash and triple Imperm.
All right.
I think the best hand traps to play right now. Nothing to comment on further. And for other spells I played Fafnir instead of the third Gamma and the second Delta.
Okay.
I really like this card. I think this card was excellent. Adding Nova was always really good, and the off chance you get interrupted on something like your Zeta, having the ritual spell access through this is also really nice.
Yeah. All right. Nice.
Right, then triple Drytron Nova. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, and triple Cyber E. I don't play prep. I was testing prep, but prep just wasn't very good for me, and in this tournament, it like really never came up where I thought that I really needed prep. Your
Yeah.
Drytron engine gets to Ben 10 and Ida 10 anyway, so it was fine for me.
Exactly. That's how I feel as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course the one Meteonis.
All right. Only one.
Yeah, I felt like DD Crow wasn't enough of a deterrent to just to play two. I felt like just one was fine. It got cosmic once, and I still won the game, so yeah,
Okay. Nice.
it was fine. And for the last cards, I played Triple Tactics Talent at 3 and 1 Call by the Grave.
Solid. Last
Yeah,
line of defense. Yeah.
yeah, Talents was great. Talents, not even just drawing or looking at a hand, taking was just very excellent as well.
Yeah. I regretted not playing that card in my deck this tournament.
Yeah, I really liked it. Right.
Makes a lot of sense to play that right now.
Yeah, especially with all the hand traps. Especially against this deck. Against this deck, you just need hand traps. So
True
to
that.
have some defense against that, it's just necessary.
All right. For the extra deck.
Extra deck. Yes, I played double Mumeda. The second one came up a lot, so I'm really glad I played the second one.
Yeah, 2 is definitely the way to go now.
Yeah, exactly. And then one Beatrice. Beatrice, I made this every game probably. This card was awesome. Just sending Eva or sending a Drytron or even sending Ultimateness. Like, this card is really flexible.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Lyrilusk never made it.
Oh, really?
Well, the only time I made it was where I already went into the battle phase. So I just made it in the main phase 2 and then made Downward above it. Yeah. This just wasn't very relevant. But Downward was relevant though. I made a lot of Mubedas, then Downward into Zeus for 4 material Zeus. Which is good. And Zeus, of course. And then for the Diviner Sands, I played 1 Herald and 1 Entis. This was fine for me. I never needed a second Herald of Arclight, and this was also really relevant going second.
All right, see something spicy there. The Dawn
Yes,
Dragster.
Dawn Dragster. I really like this card. Sometimes just there are situations where you need to make something to combat their board.
Yeah.
And you could play either Black Rose or Dawn Dragster. But I like Dawn Dragster because going first, if you get really hand trapped pretty hard, you still have this as a sort of negate. It's decent. Now, going second, I like it, especially against all the mid-range decks, particularly Tri Brigade. Like negate, like summoning this, they never expect it, and then you can just negate the revolt, and you can just combo off.
Yeah, because they're not going to revolt your single Drytron or your single Diviner.
Exactly. So yeah, this card was great.
Nice.
And then for the links, 1 Link Karibo, 1 IP, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Unicorn, 1 Appaloosa, and 1 Access Code.
All right.
Pretty standard.
Looks solid. Yeah, a lot of people have been cutting the access code and switching it up for a Borrelsword Dragon nowadays as well.
I was thinking about it too. A lot of situations come up where you just need the Borrelsword damage because like access code and Herald of Ultimate is not game, but Borrelsword with Ultimate is game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never even made the link for except Appaloosa, so
really?
I don't know if it was that relevant.
All right, cool. Interesting, because when I play the deck, I usually sometimes have a problem with doing damage, but it's cool to hear you don't.
Yeah, normally I do send Draconix, and Draconix is 4,000.
Yeah, that's also pretty beefy. Yeah. All right, cool. For the side deck?
For the side deck, triple Bell. My reasoning for Bell was it's obviously a good hand trap this format. And also, I like to side it in going first instead of like Imperm for certain matchups where it can also block like Call by the Grave, Crow, and Cycle Reader, which are cards that really cripple your deck. But I felt this card was just mediocre to side in. There just was no space to side it in sometimes.
All right.
So I'm not sure I will side this going further. Maybe Droll or something else instead.
Okay.
And then triple droplets. This was just a pick because the format was a bit undefined. I felt like droplets when you go blind because when you go first and make ultimate, they most of the time scoop. Like siding this was just something when the matchup is just undefined. You don't know what you're playing against.
Fair enough.
And then the one Lancia. Yeah, I don't know. I find it weird signing one Lancia. It's searchable, but
yeah, I do that as well. It's just like so weird.
Yeah.
Most of the time you side it in going second, and then you're like, yep, one Lancia. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't really side it going first, but yeah, it is okay.
Yeah.
And then triple Twin Twisters. Yeah, this is my preferred anti-back row for this deck, and 1 Harpies and 1 Reboots.
You're playing the card. You're playing it.
I'm playing triple Appointer.
It's so good.
Well, a lot of the time it was good, but it was also really bad. The problem with this card is that if you brick or they hand trap you too much, this card is just awful.
Why? Just banish their starter and they can't play either.
Yeah, true, but sometimes it just didn't work out, and then they have multiple starters, and yeah.
I've had so many games where I was like, summon Alpha, they Ash, I do like Talents, look in their hand, shuffle something back, and then like end on like maybe a Beatrice alone or like a Mubeta, and then pass turn with this set, and then it's just still, they can't play. They lost like 3 cards because of 1 Ash. It's so insane.
In testing, I did that as well, but in the tournament, that didn't come up for me.
Okay. Right.
But it's still a good card, but I'm thinking about replacing it with Judgment, but I'm not too sure yet.
Yeah, Judgment's also a great offer. I like a little bit of an extra like line of defense for this deck, because there are just scenarios where people say, yeah, but if you Dark Ruler, you still have 2 negates, but that's not true. You can just lose from that point on.
Yeah, exactly. Like I've had a lot of games in testing where I just was Dark Ruler and then Mind, and then
yeah, exactly.
Do about that?
Yeah, I like a card like this to chain that. All right, cool, great. Anything you want to say before we end the video?
No, that was all for me.
All right, great. Thank you so much for sharing. Drytron's still the best deck. A lot of the Drytron decks stopped. I'm gonna try to get those on as well, because every build with this deck seems to be very different.
Yeah.
So yeah,
looking forward to it as well.
Let's see what the future holds for this deck. Thank you, Danilo.
Yes. Thank you, bye.